They also have, which I don't have, one that weighs 14 pounds. The VM150 uses the same jaws as this. That's got is there one. It's a beast. But if you're wanting to do large, big, heavy pieces, that's one for there. It also has a 2-speed mechanism on it. As this one, those two, it has the 2 Allen keys, so you can open and close it. It has a third one off the side, different plane, so you don't get them mixed up, and it's just like an on-off switch. You turn it to one way, you stick the Allen key, and you spin it, and it's a fast open and close. Okay, now I got another one. I want to tighten it up, put it in, turn the key, and now you twist it, and to get your grip. I have a couple of them at home. I couldn't bring everything, so that's one of the ones that got left. This is a pen chuck. If you're drilling pens, okay, I gotta go buy a new drill press because mine only goes 3 inches and I gotta go 4 1/4 to get through the tube. If you put this on your lathe, put your drill chuck in the lathe, drill it through. This holds that straight. You don't have to make sure you got your clamping vise clamped to the drill press to make sure that when you go to pull it out, it doesn't twist, because this is there. And you can drill a precise hole through it. It's not a huge range, but it'll work for anything you're doing for pens, razors. It'll go about that big. And this one again, direct thread, M33, 1 1/4 by 8, 1 by 8, 1 by 10, and 34/16 if you've got a Rockwell. No, Rockwell was that? That was 7/8/16. And then if you've got one of the other 52, you can get one with an insert. They also make different bowl jaws. Bowl jaw, roughly. You get the same clamping power on this. The other thing Vicmark does a little bit different is you have, and there may be some other ones out there that I know there's some don't, but they have the diameter of the circle listed for each ring, so you can measure your bowl. Okay, I need to put my buttons here. These buttons are concave and convex, so you can hold the inside or the outside of the bowl. These do not mark the bowl. The black rubber buttons, one of the biggest complaints I get is I get black marks on my bowl. I got to clean it off when I'm done. All I do is take the white on here. Yes.
What kind of material is that?
This is aluminum. The rubber, some kind of a plastic, but I don't know exactly what.
So,
It's not urethane. It's heavier than that.
so what makes it non-marking?
It's not rubber.
No rubber.
That's the biggest thing.
And what does, can you buy just the little rubbers?
Yep. You may have to replace the thread or the screw to fit yours, but I do carry them with the complete set. They're about $45 for the set of 8, and that comes with the washer and the spacer and the bushing.
Is that the same thread as the one-way? Jumbo jump?
I do not remember. I know I had somebody buy one the other day and they said they're going to have to replace the screws, but it's got a bushing in there. It's going to get close, so the bushing will still fit and work.
Did those plates fit on the larger chuck?
Yes and no. This one will not fit on one, but I carry for both large and small. Same with all of the jaws. Because the screw spacing is different on the VM100 versus the 120. 120 and 150 is the same, so they're interchangeable. I carry a 220, which is this one, that's all millimeters, 220, 285, and 385 that'll fit the VM100. I have a 285, 385, and 485, which gets you up just over 19 inches in clamping, the clamping size to fit the VM120. And I think that, in a nutshell, that's a Vicmark. Yes?
On that table, is there pricing?
Not there, but I got one here. Basically what I'm doing is, and I don't have pricing on the website, and the basic information is because the exchange rate goes like this, and freight rates go like this. I'm not computer savvy enough to know how to change it in the website myself, so I gotta pay somebody to do it. So the easiest, if you're looking at something, give me a phone call, send me an email, and then with your postal code, I can tell you what it's gonna cost to get to your door.
So if we order, do you have most of this stuff in Alberta, or?
Yeah, I've got a good selection here. If I can't find it in the truck, if you buy it tonight, I will ship it out no charge. Most of the rest I have in town. I know there's a couple things I've sold out of. It's going to take a little while to get some of it back, just because time and schedules, but I will ship it out. And what I'm going to do for the guild is, okay, we're doing a bulk purchase. I'm going to give you 10% off of whatever the price is. On my price list, it's listed for the Hamilton show. The Hamilton, I was giving 5%, but tonight we'll do 10.
So Dave, if you really want that lathe, I think you should step up to it. I'm sensing
That's
you're
6,000.
getting your things together right now, aren't you? I can tell.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a couple of things about Vicmar back that Ken's kind of missed, because we're both getting tired. It's been a long 5 days. Vicmar does all this stuff in-house. The castings for the lathe, they do themselves. There's none of this stuff is offshore to China. So it's cast, machined, built in Australia, in their own factory by them. So they have total quality control. And China, you know, you don't have the quality control that you would like to have.
Bearings too.
Pardon?
Bearings too.
No, they don't build their own bearings. But
I think the bearings are tin. They use quality.
You know, $30 for repairing that lathe.
Yeah. There are a few, like some of the electronic points,
Yeah, the electronic ones,
They-
they don't make, but the main part of your lathe,
the lathe
yeah,
itself.
all these jaws they build themselves, and their chucks and all that. The main part's a big part.
The inverter is made by Fuji. And I know when I was talking to the CSA guy, he said, okay, it's Fuji, I'm not worried. And that was his comment. He still had to come and check on the wires, blah, blah, blah. Do his due diligence. About a year and a half after I started selling the Vicmar, I got a phone call from David Carter. And we talked for a while, and he says, have you ever seen our tools? No. He said, I'll send you one. And he says, I would like you to add this to your list of stuff you're going to sell. So he sent me a bowl gouge, and I've been using it ever since. Okay. These two are my favorite tools. This is the 5/8 bowl gouge. Carter uses M42 steel. It similar qualities as the M2 steel is it gets razor sharp. When I sharpen it, if I touch my fingers, I bleed. They're sharp. M42 steel, they're all made out of rod stock. They do not use flat metal, bend it to make the tool, and then machine it. What that also gives you is a round tang that's 3 inches long. You stick that in the handle, and you have a rock solid joint. They put a flat top on the top of it, so that your double set screws lock solid on this thing. And what this does, gives you a solid joint. How many roughing gouges have you seen that are bent right here? They're made with flat steel, curved up, with a flat tang, and the roughing gouge can take a beating. And not all of them, but a lot of them start bending. You will not bend this shaft. The machining is that tight. If all of the handles have the 3/4 inch bore, and like this one here, it's only 1/2 inch, so now what do I do? You stick an insert in, slide the tool in, and you got the same machining. The aluminum handle does take a little while to get used to. I found it took me about 5 minutes to get used to the extra weight And now when I pick one up with a wooden handle, that feels awful flimsy. I do 95% of my bowls with the 5/8 bowl gouge. Very seldom do I use a scraper. I do use one occasionally. And if I get to do a fine cut, real fine cut, I'll use a 3/8 bowl gouge. But on this bowl gouge, my grind now has grown back a little bit, but I've been using it for 2.5 years. I can pull shavings this wide, and if the wood is green, I can get it that thick. Or I can pull wood off that you can see through, and I can pull strings off as thin as hair, all with the 5/8 bowl gouge. That's my go-to. Couple other things that they have just done, their parting tools, they've had 1/8 and 3/8. No, 3/16, sorry. They've also just come out with a 1/8, 1/16, my numbers are getting wonky, 1/16 parting tool as well. I use that all the time. I use the 1/8, not the 16. They have just come out within the last month or so with the 1 1/4 inch negative rake scraper. And don't ask me how to use it because I've never used a negative rake scraper, but I know that a lot of people like them. They're popular. Their normal one is 1 inch, but they've also now got the 1 1/4. Another one that they came out recently, this is a few months ago now, is a box scraper. You're flat on the bottom, they put a taper on, so you can now go flat on the bottom but keep the tool away from the edge so you don't get caught on the side. And still get the flat bottom right to the corner. They've also recently done a thread chaser.
This is interesting.
So now you can do your threaded lidded boxes with one tool, the inside and the outside. This one is 16 threads per inch. They are looking at doing other threads, but this is the only one available at the time. It's got a ball on it to hang onto it so you don't lose the thing. It doesn't slide out of your hands. And this is becoming quite popular as well.
So can I use that by hand when you're putting the thread on?
Yeah. I've only seen people do threading a couple times, and you start with the heel and follow it in, and you do, this would be the inside, and then this would be the outside. It's not something I've done one of these days. I also have, I know most of you've got a 5/32 Allen key around somewhere, but I also do carry the 5/32 T-wrench to fit the set screws on the cutter and some tools. That's about $8. They do parting tools, they do spindle gouges, detail gouges, bowl gouges, skews, roughing gouges, 1 1/4 and 7/8. Skew, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, 1 inch. So they have a full range.
Do they have coring tools?
No, at this point they don't have coring tools. I don't know what their plans are on that. The other thing they don't do is carbide tools. They just do the M42 steel in the traditional turning tools. If they're going to add them, that I don't know.